Hey you guys, how you doing today? I hope your Monday's going good. Mine's going good. I'm just really encouraged. The Lord just has been just doing some amazing things, encouraging me, filling me up, renewing my vision and my hope. And today just really blessed me with something that he did this morning. But as I was just having my meal, I was reminded of something that's so helpful for me. And I just wanted to share it with you all. You know, when I was growing up, I grew up in a family where it was 9 children and a mom and my dad. And so that was 11 of us. And when we're coming up, I was growing and I was moving, and my mom would make whole food, like just about everything we ate. Like we hardly had any processed food. We hardly ever, I could count on my fingers the number of times that we went out to go eat, whether that was a fast food place. And even if we went to a fast food place, she was like, get this one or, not that one. But she really encouraged us to eat a certain way. And so we ate a lot of whole food. So you have to wait for whole food to cook. And, by the time that food would, and mind you, let me tell you, my mom is really slow. I love to hear her talk and everything, but talking and cooking just means that Janelle's going to be hungry. And I was at the end of the line. So I was number 7 out of 9. And so, you don't have much say, when you're at the end. So the food took a while to cook. I'm growing, I'm moving. And so, when the food gets served, there's enough for everybody to have, the serving, but it's not always enough to have, seconds or thirds. And mind you, I could eat, at this age. And so I developed this habit of eating faster. And I could remember eating faster, from as far back as maybe my adolescence. And so it's something that has kind of been a habit of mine for a while. I would think like, okay, well, if I finish eating what's on my plate, or I think my mom must have told me a few times, okay, well, finish eating that first, then you can have more. And boy, my brother that was right below me, about 2 years younger than me, man, he could eat too. And so it was funny because we were both, he was skinny and lean, and I was very athletic built. I was never like chubby or anything like that, fat. I was just very athletic, built like my dad, and probably a combination of my mom too. My mom was always skinny, pretty much. But anyway, with all of that, I developed this habit of eating faster. Let me eat it so I can have more. And after I, just continued in life, I just ate fast. I just kind of thought, oh, eat fast like my dad, or, whatever it is. Because my mom would definitely not eat fast. I would even sometimes be like, she would ask us to go warm her food up again. And we didn't have microwaves or anything like that. We didn't use microwaves. So we would go to the, cast iron skillet, warm it up again for her. That's how slow she would eat. Her food would cool down. And it was the most amazing thing to me. I'd be like, I would ask her, say, Mom, do you want that? Like, do you want it? Like, because it's still sitting on her plate. She would turn and start talking. And I'm like, do you want that? I'll eat it for you. She still eats slow, which I should have took habits from eating slower like her. Anyway, that's one place that it was cultivated. And I never, knew it was an issue until later on. I started working with clients probably after about the third year that I was working on. It was about 5 years I was into training, and I had a lot of clients. I even had a lot of clients from the beginning pretty quick. It was just, when it's something that you love, like people know. And so I was working with a lot of people, but around this time I started being more specific with my nutrition and learning more things about how the body responds from certain foods and combinations, because I was also going into training with another trainer for competition. And at this time, since I had so many clients and it was like, you got to eat 6 times a day, 5 to 6 times a day, it was a lot of meals a day. And he was, like the timing was so important. And so, I wanted to execute that properly so that I could see, to follow it. And so with that put together with my old way of eating fast already, I was just like, okay, let me eat real quick. And I remember in between clients, I would go and eat something like, I would take me like 5 minutes max to eat this food. And I was just shoveling it down. And I had another, thought or motivating thought. Like I said, it's always motivated by the thought. The initial action that I had of eating fast, that was, well, I better eat this so that I can have some more because I'm going to be hungry. I'm going to want some more. So let me eat this so I can have some more. In any of those circumstances, when I was younger, that there was a whole lot of food, I also developed this fear. And of course, I didn't see it at the time. I saw it later, that let me have it because I don't know when I'm going to have this opportunity again. So if I couldn't take it with me, I would eat more, thinking that, oh, okay, eat more, then it'll last longer, So that was the mindset. And this is why I always encourage you all, said, look, it's not the action. Like in my last video, I said, it's not about the plan. Like the plan is not the issue. It's the execution, the ability to execute it. And the reason why there's the inability to execute a healthy lifestyle is because of the mindset. It's about, what are you believing about the situation that is blocking you from being able to execute? You see what I'm saying? That there's something that you believe in your mind that's stopping you from executing. It's not about the plan. Let me say it again. It's not about the plan. That was the wrong plan. Oh, this time I should have had this. No, it's not even about the plan, because there's very basic things that everybody can do and be considerably healthy, significantly better than where they are right now, make a significant difference in their health. No, it's the fact that, well, it doesn't matter. I'm just, you're feeling bad that day, or you're feeling lonely that day, or you have a habit of, after a long day of work, I'm supposed to, go and eat whatever I want, or this is how I treat myself, or you know what, I just hide and eat, I don't have any friends, so I'm going to go ahead and eat, or whatever it is. There's always something in our mind. Like, I ate a lot because I thought, well, if I don't eat it, then it might not be there the next time. Or if I don't eat faster, then my brother, because my youngest brother, he could eat. He was so skinny. Even to this day, he's never been overweight. He's kind of built. He's built more like me, athletic, muscular but lean, not fat. Never been fat. So he would eat a lot too. But anyway, I would try to eat faster so that, I'm looking at the plate of food on the table like, oh goodness, who's going to get it next? Mind you, there's 9 people. So I was trying to get the food, and I'm one of the youngest ones. So I could easily just be punked by one of my other siblings, which is not good, y'all. If you have younger siblings, do not punk them. That is painful. But God is good, because he could turn things around. But anyway, these were the things that I believed that cultivated me having that habit. And mind you, I didn't even think that it was an issue or needed to change it. I just accepted that that's the way it was. There was nothing that I experienced that really turned my attention to, hey, Janelle, like, you messing up your digestive system. Your body's not supposed to handle that much food at one time. There was nothing there to move me in that direction. I was still active. I was still very fit. And so there was nothing there that really moved me to do that. And so when I went to change my eating habits, that mindset coupled with this new thing of, I got to eat it on time, that just perpetuated that same thing. I hadn't dealt with the fact that I had a fear of there not being enough, which God really brought to my attention and is amazing, and how he brings up and extracts these things and puts other truths in that place. And that's why I say, you all, you need to let God be involved. There's no way that I would have learned these things about myself and my client if he wasn't there to give me wisdom and insight. And so with this belief system of the need to eat faster because there's not going to be enough of I might not have a chance to eat this particular food again. This lack mentality that there wasn't going to be another good situation, or this same situation that I deem as being good, positive, abundant. And then it perpetuated this eating pattern that wasn't healthy. Even later on, as I was, well into my adulthood, I remember going to restaurants, and at the restaurant, I would take, the food home. Is there anything wrong taking the food home? No. But I was taking the food home because I still had this fear. I could feel the anxiousness. And the thing is that we do things sometimes that look the same as other people, but God knows our motives. And if our motives are off, then that thing is always going to lead in the wrong direction. I don't care if I tried to say, well, it's got not good to waste. It was true. I hated to see things wasted. But the question was why? And if that reason, no matter how good it looked from the outside, if it was rooted in the fact that I was afraid that there wasn't going to be more, well, then that always ends up in a detrimental situation, because we're not designed to be motivated by fear. Fear will always lead us in the wrong direction. I don't care what your community or people say about it. Fear is going to lead you in the wrong direction. It looks like the right thing, but it's out of fear. It leads you in the wrong direction because you're embodying that. And once you accept it and allow it to take place on the inside of your body, it will then start to harm your actual physical health. That's why you have individuals that look so fit. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden they just had a stroke. All of a sudden they just passed. All of a sudden they just had a heart attack. All of a sudden they died because there was something on the inside that wasn't taken care of, that can't be taken care of with something natural. And so my encouragement to you, or the reason why I'm bringing this to you, is because I want you to start thinking about this and start to become open to talk to God about these things. Why? Because who doesn't want to have peace about, oh, I'm here and maybe I won't have enough. So no, God is more than enough. And he continues to show us that I can be more than enough. And I want to show you how I can be more than enough in every area of my life. And this is why I want to bring this to you. I might have a fear that God can bring me out of one situation, but there's somebody else who've experienced him bringing them out of that situation, so that person will share with me and therefore walk me through that area. And we have all these different areas. And now I want to share this with you because I know that he wants to do it and he can do it. It's all throughout his word. But at the same time, I'm sharing it because I know that he's helped me come up out of it, to have insight into this. And I want the same thing for you, as I would hope that you would want to be able to help me in another area as God leads you to. So that's why it's important for us to share all these things. But my tip for you to do, what I learned to do, and it's something that I've mentioned before, is to practice the pause. And this pause in the form of slowing down when you eat. And how it's helped physically is that my food can digest better. Your food can digest better. It's how our bodies were designed to chew it, to start to break down process in our mouth. We have these enzymes that start to break it down, then it goes down, and then when it gets into our stomach, there's some other acidic, the certain level of acidity and enzymes that are in our stomach to help it break it down. Then we have the other processes that it goes through our intestines, so on and so forth. And chewing is part of that process. And that's what I want to encourage you to do today, is to slow down and consider, what are these things that I am using? How am I using a natural substance to handle an emotional need? I can't stress for you enough. Some things, they seem like it's no big deal. That's just minor, not a big deal. But what happens is everything is a seed. And then it cultivates into something bigger later on. The issues that I had with my digestion, those things cultivated later on, but earlier on it was already off. And because of the motive that I had, it led me to the wrong place. And then I started to get the negative outworkings in my health. And that's the same thing that's happened with so many of us. And that's why I want to share this with you today. Practice the pause. Consider when you go shopping earlier in the day and you're like, well, I'm going to buy this because later on I want to watch this movie and I want to eat this food. Be honest with yourself. You know you're going to overeat. You know that you're doing that because it's comforting. It's like company. It's like having company. If there's no physical company and you have company as food, you know if that's it, especially if it's something that's been going on for a long period of time, or there's something on the inside of you that says, this is overdoing it. And guess what? You don't have to figure it out on your own and say, well, you can go straight to the Father and ask him, and then he will lead you to the professional that you need for help. He'll lead you to the certain actions that help to draw you out of it. He'll send people around you. He'll send you what I like to call holy distractions, things to get you so focused on one thing to where you don't even focus on doing the thing that is harmful to you. And so practice the pause when you're chewing. Give your body a chance to identify that you've had enough to eat so that you don't overeat. Eat foods that are nutrient dense. And if that's something that's not a pattern of yours, that's okay too. If you're used to, I know individuals, they're just used to eating junk food all the time. And they fully convince themselves that it's okay, it's normal. Well, I'm asking you today, take time and pause and say, is this really helping me? Could this be the thing that's harmful? And then don't go to, you don't have to struggle with it in yourself. Just go straight to God. God, what's going on? And he is very gracious. He's very kind. And, sometimes there's things that happen to us in our life and we think that God did it. God didn't do it. Not if it's something negative. We have an enemy that gets us to believe things or do things to ourselves, and an enemy that gets other people that are close to us to believe things that gets them to do negative things to us. Think back when you've done something that's undesirable in the past. Why did you do it at that moment? Oftentimes we'll be like, I don't know why I did it. Or sometimes we'll be like, I don't know, something just came over me, or they made me so. There's a number of different things. There's a reason behind it. And oftentimes we were just trying to feel better. You know what I mean? We lashed out at someone because we were feeling bad. Hurt people hurt people. But I say this to say that it's possible for hurt to happen to us, even though it's not intentional from another person. And since we live in a world that this takes place, please understand that it's not God's will. However, we got a free will. And if somebody else's free will interacts with you and their free will causes a negative response, and then that happens. But God always has a way to turn it around for our benefit. So be encouraged in that, you all. It's not a negative thing. You don't have to be intimidated by the idea of changing everything at once, but just let him in, just little by every day. Just, God, search my heart. Like, what is on the inside of there? Because there were times where I had nudges on the inside I didn't know, and I kept going in a particular direction, and it ended up being so not fun. So not fun. And if anybody can avoid experiencing something that was undesirable that I've experienced or I've seen other people experience, it, I'm definitely going to share. And this is helpful. So slow down, you all. Practice the pause in all things. Give yourself a chance to pause when you're eating and digest your food, chew your food, and then pay attention to these things these little whispers when they come up, and then just calm down. Ask God for a step. He'll give you a step based on what you can do and help you out in all ways because he absolutely loves you. So I hope that was helpful, you all. And I'll be back soon with some more fit tips. Have a blessed day.